money and y'all going into slavery. And then you're gonna bring back all of your millions that died in this destruction.
It says, verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, and thou hast said, none seeth me, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee.
Yeah, your wisdom and your knowledge have misguided you, man. Your wickedness you did in the dark, your witchcraft, all of those enchantments and things that you did to pollute and brainwash, that's all leading to your destruction. The world knows who you are. The world knows elite banking families, their agenda. They're constantly being exposed day in and day out.
It says, for thou hast trusted in, back in Isaiah chapter 47, verse 10, it says, thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, and none seeth me.
Yeah, you trusted in your wickedness, and you said none seeth you. We know your judges are priests of Baal, all right? We know your silent weapons for quiet wars, social engineering. We know the Spirit had to reveal to us your whole structure with UCC, canon law, maritime law, all your everything, all your tools. The men of the Lord is exposing you, man, through the Spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai.
It says, you got
quick precept.
You know your whole structure.
It says, this is Psalm chapter 52, verse 7. It says, lo, this is the man that made not the Most High his strength, but trusted in abundance of his riches and strengthened himself in his wickedness.
That's right. That's a so-called way, man. You trust in your wickedness, your corrupted money, the thievery that you have done through your traffic, and your knowledge on the left-hand side, which all set you up for your downfall.
Back in Isaiah 47, verse 10, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me.
Yeah, that's the so-called way, man. He says that the Most High doesn't exist. Evolution. He said the Most High doesn't exist, right? And was it you that brought out the video? The Rothschilds, they paid for that evolution thing to come out.
Yeah,
that was you that pulled
that. That was they funded Charles Darwin.
It was Yashalom too.
But,
he did a video on that.
They funded everybody. They funded Charles Darwin to discredit the Bible.
Yeah,
you know, Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution. Charles Darwin came, listen, you got to think about this. The Bible was written over 2,000 years ago, and Charles Darwin came about in the 1800s. Who you going to believe? Charles Darwin and his evolutionary theory, or you going to believe the scriptures, man? But most people, you see, they came up with the Bible Belt, the Bible destruction, where they was destroying the Bible, you know, in the 1800s. They took out the Apocrypha. They did a lot of things to discredit the Bible, and that's why you got Jake bugged out right to this day, thinking that's the white man's Bible, man. It's the white man's book. He wrote the Bible. That was bullshit, man. That was the crafty devising of the devil, of Esau, the so-called white man, with the Bible destruction belt in the 1800s, man. Yeah. And the Apostle Ramla brought that out, man, years ago, you know. But it's a little more. It says, back in Isaiah chapter 47, verse 11, therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it rises, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off.
Yeah, so it's all this stuff gonna get out of the elite's hand. It's gonna get to the point where they can't control the chaos that's going on. All right? Because the deceived and the deceiver are of the Most High. The Most High controls both, all sides of everything.
It says, and desolation shall come upon suddenly. It's like, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly.
Desolation suddenly. What will cause desolation suddenly? Thermonuclear destruction, and the Lord returning with the angels, burning this place up.
It says, and destruction shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know.
Which thou shalt not know, so it's going to be sudden. The Lord is going to come as a thief, man. He's not going to give you a warning when he's returning, the actual moment.
Well, he's giving warning to his prophets, but nobody's listening. nobody's listening, especially Esau. You know, because the warning that's given, the warning is not towards Esau. We condemning Esau, but warning the people, the nation, our people.
Yeah, shall a trumpet be blown in the city? Shall a trumpet be blown and people not be afraid? You got it. Huh?
But only the elect is going to take heed to the words of the Most High and the words of His prophets. Because these are not our words; these are the words of the Most High. So it reads, "Stand now, die." It says stand. Isaiah 47 verse 12. Stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
That's right, from your youth. You've done the so-called white man's done his enchantments. All the way and going all the way back to that serpent. Then when he was a Cain, then Esau on to now. All right? He's been with his wickedness, man. He told Eve, yo, you and Adam, y'all will become gods.
It says, stand now with thy enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries wherein thou hast labored. Because Esau do his media, social media, and do the television, and do the record industry. They push their sorcery, their witchcraft.
Yeah.
And the whole world is under a demonic spell of witchcraft.
Yep.
And Satanism, the whole world. Only the elect is not taken by that, man. But the 2/3 and the rest of the world is taken by that, by the enchantments of Esau and his sorceries and his witchcraft. And how they push it through their media, through the music industry, and through Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
You can't forget Hollywood is called Halloween, and they have that magic, they have that wand that cast spells upon the people. Yep. So we'll show you that these devils, they use enchantments and witchcraft and sorceries to bewitch the people, to keep the people on a demonic spell. That's why you don't see uproars in America like you see over in Europe. These people are dumbed down, do sorceries, witchcraft, and enchantments.
Bread and circuses.
And bread and circuses and fluoride in the water to keep you dumbed down.
There's always some new entertainment, whether on television, show after show coming out. One show ends, another one begins.
Yeah.
It's constant new stuff for television. They make it more convenient now, so a person don't have to leave their house to get something to eat. You get what I'm saying?
I mean, you can call Uber, DoorDash, or Uber Eats, DoorDash, or any of them apps on your phone, and they deliver your food to you.
Yeah, so
Even liquor now.
yeah, so they doing all of these things to keep people more in the house too, because a lot of people can work from home. Yo, so this is all strategically done, and the bread and circuses once again have people with their entertainment, because the further you increase that entertainment, it keeps people distracted. So if a person is constantly working or constantly being entertained, or both, after their work, they go watch something entertaining, they're constantly distracted. And then government-operated schools, you got it out.
It says, if so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. Verse 13, thou art worthy in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, and the monthly prognosticators,
Yeah, all the witches and warlocks.
stand up to save thee from these things that shall come upon thee.
And they're not going to be able to, because the sun and the moon is not going to give its light. So their wisdom on the left-hand side is not going to prevail.
That's right. Yeah, you got it.
Because earlier when you was going into the Darwins and stuff, how you was breaking out how the Rothschild basically funded Darwinism to try to debunk the scriptures with his theory, right? Like the apostles always preach, man, you got to go into words and definition, because people don't know what words mean, and they teach you in school about different type of methods to do a theory. So I looked up the word theory in the etymology. It says from 1590s, it says the word theory means conception, mental scheme. From late Latin theora, it says contemplation, speculation, a looking at
viewing a sight show, spectacle, things looked at. It says to consider. It says to consider, speculate, look at.
Speculate. So, it's a speculation of how everything came into existence, like out of a chaotic act. All right, so everything came from evolution, right? How everything came about. The Big Bang? The Big Bang, right?
A Big Bang, boom.
All right, well, what happened before the Big Bang? The elements, what else? A singularity. What was before the singularity? You keep on asking what happened before this. Oh, it had to be a starting point. I asked my science teacher that shit at high school because I knew that was bullshit, that the Most High exists. I didn't know who, but you know what I mean? You know, like, so you're looking for answers. So I asked him, I kept on going, well, but what before the singularity, what was it? Well, there just had to be a starting point. They don't know, because this shit is bullshit.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's bullshit, all right? Now, your body is made up of building blocks, right? All the way from the atom, right? The molecules, the organelles, the organs, the organ system, all right? You know what it is. Atoms, molecules, organelles, cells, tissues, organs, organ system, organism, the person, right? So it's all building blocks, all right? And then, your body got the DNA, the RNA that is constantly is always making new skin and stuff like that. It's records. And if anything's off on that, there's mutation. You get me? So it has to be correct. So your body is coding. The Most High made all of that. I'm getting to his building blocks. So if your body made of building blocks, everything else is made of that, And it was designed by who? The Most High gave Yahweh Shai the blueprint, and Yahweh Shai with the angels, with the elect that was there in their first estate, and they created the universe, the stars and everything, all right? The stars. We're not talking about the spiritual realm. We're talking about the universe, the stars, and the planets, and this place, Earth, and things like that, and mankind.
What's set to take place in this society? We see what's going on in this society. What's set to take place is the destruction of this kingdom. This kingdom is circling in the drain. Esau's kingdom is circling in the drain. And we see that's taking place right now, unfolding before our eyes. We see scrimmages going on with Iran and Israel. Israel always threatening Iran for the longest. But now they're saying that they get a new nuclear agreement, they're going to extract them. You got Taiwan being threatened by China. China became allies with Russia, which is prophecy. So is North Korea, so is Iran, so is India, so is Ethiopia, Libya. They're all pursuant to Ezekiel, the 38th chapter. They're all confederate with Russia. You got Russia and its allies, and you're going to have America and their allies. And guess what? America's own allies are going to turn against her and burn her with fire. They tell you that in the scriptures, man.
Obadiah. All the men of that confederacy.
Yeah, all the men of that confederacy shall be against thee.
Right.
Well, if we paraphrasing that scripture, man. So we know that it's going to be an assembly of great nations through the scriptures. Started with Jeremiah, the 50th chapter, the 9th verse on down. That's what come up against America, man. That assembly of great nations, man. And I named a few of them. Not to mention America's own allies, such as Great Britain, France, and Germany. Those are the three major powers of Europe that have nuclear weapons, man. And then not to mention also Turkey, Togarmah, which is mentioned in the scripture, man, which is part of Turkey, man, if I'm not mistaken. So it's gonna be a fascinating day that's gonna come upon America, man. And they're not gonna know from whence it's coming from. Yeah.
This is Obadiah 1. I'm going to start from verse 8. It says, shall I not, Obadiah 1 and 8. Shall I not in the day, say the Most High, even destroy the wise men out of Edom?
Read it again.
Obadiah 1 and 8. shall I not in the day say the
Matter
most?
of fact, start the first chapter. Start the first verse. We're gonna get into that. Start the first verse, bro. There's only one chapter. Let's get into it.
Obadiah 1:1.
If you got any precepts, bring out the precepts too. But we're going to get into this, the destruction of Esau.
All right, gotcha.
It says Obadiah 1 verse 1. The vision of Obadiah,
You know, salted peas.
thus saith the Most High power concerning Edom.
Slacker, read it again. Slacker, I'm sorry, my bad. Bro.
That's all good. Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Most High power concerning Edom.
Concerning Edom, we talking about this prophecy is concerning Edom. Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. This is prophecy is pertaining to. So no Esau. Say no vocab. Esau, the so-called white man, has not been done away with. They still exist. They still on this earth, man. Esau, being the so-called white man, he still exists. He has not been done away with.
We have heard a rumor from the Most High.
We have heard of them from the Most High, all the prophecies that's leading up to your destruction. All the prophecies of old, Jeremiah. They thought they was talking about the ancient Babylonian Empire, but it was talking about the daughter of Babylon. Isaiah, Jeremiah, all the prophets of old, all the ancient prophets of old spoke of the destruction of Babylon. But they didn't know that it was talking about the daughter of Babylon. That's that rumor that has been heard. Read it again.
It's Obadiah 1:1. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Most High power concerning Edom.
And he saw the vision of Esau and Edom being destroyed, man.
We have heard a rumor from the Most High Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen.
Who's that ambassador? The men that you see out here in the highways and the byways, man, the prophets of the Lord, man. We are the spokesmen of the Most High, man. We are the ambassadors of Yahweh, why Yahweh shall. We are telling you your downfall. The Lord's not going to come down himself and tell you, I'm going to destroy you. He's going to send his prophets. Going back to the ancient world, man. Jeremiah 28:8. Get that real quick, brother. Hold that real quick. Get that real quick. Jeremiah 28:8. Because we are the ancient prophets coming back. And we are the same spirits that was back there condemning the ancient rulers of the ancient lands that was ruling in that time, man. Read it real quick. Then we're going to go back to that.
Jeremiah chapter 28, verse 8. And it says, the prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesy both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence.
And that's what we doing, man. This World Wide Web, which is carrying the bulk of the load of us, we are prophesizing the destruction of all these different nations, man. Starting with Esau, Moab, which is the so-called Chinese, Ammon, which is the so-called Japanese, Ham, which is the so-called Hamites, Africans, Ishmael, which is the so-called green and brown teeth, smelly Ishmaelites, man, Arabs, man. We are prophesying the destruction and the fall of your people, man. Also, the 2/3 you Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. We warning y'all. We telling y'all, man. We giving y'all the dose that you're going to drink out of. That cup that you're going to drink out of, we passing it about. We passing it around. All these nations is going to drink of the cup of the Most High, man, which is that slavery. All you nations going to be enslaved under the Israelites, man. Only thing about it, the 2/3 is going to be destroyed on this side, but they going to, guess what? They're going to be all right. They're going to come back in that right state of mind, and they're going to rule over you nations, man.
That's right.
Verse 2.
You got more?
That's it. That's
Okay.
it.
Verse 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen.
And how did the Most High Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah made you devils small amongst the heathen? Why? Because
My bag.
he has given the technology that you have unto these smaller nations that you was ruling over and punking. Now you can no longer punk these different nations, man. Cause why? They got the bomb that you got, and they're not gonna take your shit no more. That's how the Most High made you small amongst the heathen. The heathen means different nations, man. Read.
It says, it says, arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle.
Arise ye. Read it again.
Obadiah 1 and 2. No, Slakia.
You was in 3.
No, I was in No, I was finishing up 1. It says, arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle.
Arise ye and let us rise up against her in battle. Jeremiah 50:9. The Most High going to have that assembly of great nations come up against America, which is Edom. Esau and Edom, man. The capital of Esau is America. Spiritually, Bosra, spiritually, Bosra, spiritually Bosra, and spiritually,
Sodom and Egypt.
Sodom and Egypt, man.
Verse 2, it says, Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised.
Because all these different nations have nuclear weapons and they despise you Edomites, man. They hate you Edomites. That's why you got all these chants, death against America, death towards America. You got that throughout all the these different nations, man. Death against America.
Verse 3, the pride of thine heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. You have become so proud because you have been given through the spirit of Yahweh by Yahweh Shai the technology to build a nuclear missile, to build an international space station out above the, under the ozone layer, because you didn't go above the firmament. So it's under the ozone layer, the international space stations. You never went to the moon. I was alive. So the pride of thy heart have deceived you through your technology. Read.
It says, thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock.
Thou that dwellest in the cliffs of the rock. You call yourself Caucasians, cave dwellers, man. Who dwelt in the caves? Who dwelt in the cave? When you look up the word cave dweller, it goes back to Esau and Edom, man. And they tell you that in the book of Job, the 20th chapter, if I'm not mistaken, how you was chased away from men. Read.
Look, real quick. I looked up the word cave dweller, and these are the pictures that popped up.
Look at that. Show them cave dwellers. Edomites, man. The so-called white men, cave dwellers, man. Men with no color. Pale.
Damn.
Look at that, man. Look at that. Then they got a cartoon called Captain Caveman.
Yeah,
Oh, I
I
remember
remember
that.
that
I
Captain
remember that.
Caveman, yeah.
It showed you, man. Esau know who he is. That's why they had them Geico commercials where they had Esau, like even a caveman. It's so easy even a caveman can understand.
Yeah.
Who was that caveman? They had no Moabite as the caveman. They didn't have no Hamite as the caveman. They had Esau and Edom as the caveman because they know where they come from, man. They was chased up in them Caucasus Mountains, you know what I'm saying, during the time of the Dark Age because there was nothing but foul thieving, having sex with beasts, people, man. So they got chased among men. Nobody wanted you around them.
Continuing on Obadiah 1, verse 3. Continuing on, it says, who shall bring me down to the ground?
And that's what Esau is saying. Who should bring me down to the ground, man? Well, you feel with pride because of the fact that you got this mighty technology and this mighty nuclear arsenal with a great vast army. Just as the ancient Roman Empire, they became proud and then they got taken down by the barbarians, which were Israelites. But when you go up to now, with this day and age now, Esau, Edom has NATO, the EU, and America. Who can make war with them, man? All these different nations, they got Article 5. But you mess with one of them, you mess with all of them. Who can make war with them, man? Because you mess with one of them, they all gonna come at you. So you filled with pride because you have a vast army and technology, and y'all have been getting riches because you don't rob, pillage, and destroy everybody, all these different nations. You became rich, and you're built in your military, and you got technology. You got more. Hold that real quick to bring that out.
Yeah, this is Psalms chapter 10. I'm gonna start at 4. It says, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
That's Esau, the so-called white man. They don't want to know the ways of the Most High. Why should they? They've been given the fatness of the earth and they've been given the blessing of the sources. Therefore, they don't need the Most High. According to their way of thinking, not knowing that the Most High gave them that blessing.
Yeah.
Through Isaac, our forefather, which was Yahweh Shai, if you can receive that. Only if you can receive that. And the same individual that gave him the blessing is going to take that blessing away, man. Isaac, which was Yahweh Shai, in the reincarnation, gave Esau the blessing of the sword and the fatness of the earth. Why do you think Esau has control of all the good land of the earth, man? And they have the blessing of the sword. Who can make war with Esau?
It says His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight.
Esau's ways is always grievous, man. You go to that's why it says when the righteous bear authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Roughly paraphrasing. Everybody's mourning, man. Read that again, Baba Kashan.
It says in Psalm chapter 10, verse 5, it says his ways are always grievous.
His ways are always grievous. He got these draconian laws pursuant to Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Born to him that decree unrighteous decrees. Esau, the so-called white man, is always decreeing some kind of unrighteous decree, whether it's in America or abroad, man. Grieving the people. Read.
It says, thy judgment are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them.
He puffing at them. Even Esau is against Esau. You got America puffing at other different nations of Esau, Edomites, such as the Russians. You know me? Such as the Ottoman Turks, which are Edomites, man. The people over in Turkey, they're Edomites, man.
Yeah.
But they took on, you know the history, they took on the religion of Islam. But those are Edomites, man, that took over, man. Read.
It says, he had said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never see adversity.
He should not be moved. He think his empire is going to go on forever. He should not be moved, and he should not see adversity. But guess what? Adversity is coming upon this land, man. You see adversity first and foremost by the infrastructure being corroded. The Rome has covered which is corrosion, and then you see that you are covered in heavy debt, which is a batya in the Hebrew. Ladder with heavy debt, man. Thick clay, which is a batya, which is heavy debt. Your military is outstretched. It's everything that was happening to the ancient Roman Empire has happened to the society we living in right now. The morale of you people is down on an all-time low, man. So the Most High is... Nah, I'm good. So the Most High is bringing judgment upon these people, man. Upon the land of America. And upon his allies. Read. You got more?
That was it.
Go back.
Verse 4 in Obadiah, it says, though thou exile thyself as the eagle.
No, exalt.
Slakia. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars.
Because what happened in 1979, 1969, or going a little couple of years back, Russia was the first one with Sputnik. They was the first one to set a satellite in the firmament. Then it was like a space race where Esau was battling against Esau, the Russians and the Americans. And then that's when America they set their nest amongst the stars too, man. Below the firmament. Then nobody never went above the firmament. Because the firmament is above the ozone layer, and everything to burn once they try to go get past the ozone layer, man. That's why we know that these devils never went to the moon. So read it again.
Obadiah 1 verse 4. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle.
And Esau, that Esau, going back to the ancient Romans, going back to the ancient Greeks, they had the symbol of the eagle. And the eagle soars himself high up in the sky, man. The eagle is a proud bird at that. Also the dirty bird. So these devils, man, they exalt themselves above, like the eagle, man. So they above all these different nations, man. They exalt themselves, man. And they plant their nest amongst the stars, their satellites, the International Space Station. Not above, below the firmament. Just enough so they can monitor everything that's on Earth, man. You know? Yeah, read.
It says, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh.
And they started going down ever since they set their nest amongst the stars after Vietnam, when all these soldiers came back. You know, it did it to Tehran and the free how was what was it again? During the time of the hippie movement, the free love movement, where everybody was sex, drugs, you know, and love, sex, drugs, and love. That brought you down, man. Because all your soldiers came back with heroin addictions, man. And the decay of America has been going on ever since, man. Read.
Verse 5. If thieves came to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough?
See, these devils, man, they can never have enough, man. They go to these different nations and they plunder and they pillage and they rape and they rob and they can never have enough, man. You see, if an actual thief will come into a house or come into a field, they're going to steal till they have enough, and they're going to leave something behind because they're not going to take everything. But Esau, the so-called white man, he don't have enough. He feel he can never have enough. He going to take everything, and whatever after he took everything else, he want the crumbs. Give me the crumbs and everything. I want everything plus the crumbs.
Dang.
Leaving the people nothing. Read.
It says if the great gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes?
And Esau ain't not gonna leave nothing, man. See, if grape grabber, they come to gather grapes, I'm saying they're gonna leave something from the poor. They ain't gonna take everything, but Esau, they takes everything. Esau, the so-called white man, he takes everything, and then he comes back for the crumbs. Listen, you got crumbs? I want the crumbs too. I don't want this to everything. I want the crumbs. I don't need over nothing. I want you totally dependent on me. I don't want you to have nothing. Read.
Isn't that some type of law in Israel, basically, when we have like
like a welfare system?
Yeah, where like you leave some grapes, like
for the poor.
fruits on the vines when the poor is coming by.
They could come and take, man. Yeah,
something to eat.
but Esau don't do that. They want everything, and then they come back for the crumbs. If you see a couple of in the field, a couple of watermelons still growing, they small, I'm taking that. You see a couple of bananas on the tree, I'm taking that. You see a couple of pomegranates growing, I'm taking that. They want it all.
Yeah, well, you see how they doing right now with in terms of like the taxes and even the traffic cameras. They run 24/7 now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
everything's run 24/7.
Yep.
So you gotta watch out. So I'll be driving through the street, 23 miles an hour, 24 miles an hour. People be blowing their horn, getting mad at me and going around me. But guess what? You don't know what's going on because you're not watching TV, you're not watching the news. So therefore, when you zoom around me, that light flash off, and you get to the light. You zoom around me, that's to get to the light, and the light flashed off. You know the light flashed off on you, right? Word, shit. Now you're getting the ticket because you was impatient. That's to go around me to go to the light. I see we at the light, homeboy. And not only that, I'm gonna say at the light, I'm gonna roll my window down and tell you, you know that light flashed and caught you. Well, I even know it was a camera there. Okay, that's why I was driving slow. Sometimes it's not good to be impatient.
Just like on the subway.
Yeah.
They'll mess with the machines by saying, yo, we not taking no dollars enough. Then they'll mess up the machines so a person to be impatient. All the machines will be like, no dollars. Not meaning not taking no cash. So a person could be impatient and hop the train. Or sometimes they have a glitch where they should take your fare.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Where it'll take your fare and they'll be high and so you can hop.
Yeah. I went to bookings for that. The first one of the second times I've been to booking was because of that.
I ain't gonna keep talking about it. I fought a ticket like that one time. I used my card when I used my card and the shit and they said that basically the shit was malfunctioning and they weren't letting, so I hopped the train. But then when they checked my Metro card, they was like, yo, you just used it. They said that you used it during the time you got the ticket. I was like, yeah, the machine basically messed up with my fare. And so ticket dismissed. You know, but I'm just saying.
It costs you a day out of work to go down there and fight that, man.
Yeah.
You see, that's the grievance of Esau. You got more?
Oh, one more thing. When would I keep talking the grievance of Esau? When I was in high school, yo, I'm 18 years old. There's no such thing as truancies no more when you're 18. I'm like, yo, I could pretty much drop out of school right now if I want. I don't have to fucking do all this. I showed them my ID or whatever, my state ID and shit. And I was going to pay, I left school going to pay a transit ticket. And then them niggas took me to in-house fucking, in-house thing, like detention. I'm like, yo, I'm going to pay a ticket. They will lock you up if you don't pay a ticket. I showed them fucking truancy police. But that's the show. I'm like, yo, look, it's no fucking mercy.
Yep.
You got it.
Back in Obadiah 1, verse 6, It says, how are the things of Esau searched out?
How are the things of Esau searched out? Through the internet, man. That's why I think it was David Rockefeller said that the internet should never been invented, because this devil is being exposed through the internet, man. Type in Rothschilds, it's gonna come up. How much they worth, their land. You're gonna see different YouTube videos of how much land they own, what country they have dominance over. They basically have dominance over the whole world. You're gonna go to put in 13 the 13 families that run the international banking system. Is gonna bring up all the 13 families. That's how Esau is being exposed, man. Read it again.
Obadiah 1 verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out?
His New World Order, the Georgia Guidestones, maintaining money under 400 million. And we got almost 800 billion, almost 8 billion people on this earth. How they gonna do that? Do they vaccinations, you know? Do things that that's gonna bring forth the demise of people, abortions. Why would these women is fighting tooth and nail to keep abortions, man? More?
It says, how are his hidden things sought up?
His hidden things stored up. What they want to do with this MOTB, have dominance over the world. They banking system to do away with cash. The hidden things are stored up, man. The things they doing in the dark, man. To the people. How they want to have everybody electronically microchip, electronically tagged like cattle. These things they doing secretly. But the Lord is revealing it, because all you got to do is go to the internet and type in the right things and everything's going to come up. Right?
It says, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee.
That's the American government and its allies, man.
Right.
All their allies are going to come up against you. And you know, at some point in time, they're going to come up against you. Something you're going to do that's going to piss your allies off, and they're going to come up against you, man. And they're going to deceive you, man. All your confederates are going to come up against you, such as the main ones, Great Britain, France, and Germany. They're the ones that's the powerhouses that's running Europe, man. Read.
It says, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee.
Because America, what they do is they pay these different nations off with it's like a welfare system. They pay billions of dollars over to Israel, and they also help other different nations. What I'm saying, by giving them, it's called aid. It's called international aid to help these people, but it's also taking money out of the tax people, like what they're doing in Ukraine right now. Giving billions of dollars in Ukraine, man, to keep that war going, man. But that war could have been over had it not been for Russia, not Russia, the United States and NATO intervening and giving all kind of weaponry to Ukraine to fight Russia, man.
Can I tell you something, Mark? Is they lying about that? I looked at something that said 450 bodies. They trying to demonize Russia by saying it's 450 Ukrainian bodies. Is that true?
I mean,
Well, there might be more than that.
it could be, but you know what? You can't really trust the American government, because the American government and they media, they spread lies, man, propaganda. So it's something that came out in the 1950s called Operation Mockingbird, where the CIA can lie to you through the media. All you gotta do is look up Operation Mockingbird. You know, so you got more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're doing the whole chapter.
Yeah.
Verse, it says, there is none understanding in him. Verse 8, shall I not in the day say it, Yahweh even destroys the wise men out of Edom?
Out of Teman.
Oh, no, Edom.
You read that,
Yeah. Out of Edom, and understanding out of the mouth of Esau.
And that's what the Lord is doing, man. He destroying the understanding and the wise counsel out of Esau. Esau has not a clue of what's going on right now. They all in derision on they all in derision on the internet. On the economy. They're trying to find ways to fix the economy. They're trying to find ways to better fix the infrastructure, but they can't. There's There's no solution to their problems, man. They're trying to keep the dollar afloat, but they can't. Because the Lord have it whereas their society, and that's how society declines, man. Gradually. Infrastructure, the morale, the economy, the military, that's how empire circles the drain. Gradually. It's called gradualism, devil.
It says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of Mount Slakia, to the end that every one of the Mount of Esau may be cut off by slaughter.
And that's what's going to happen, man. That's what happened first and foremost with thermonuclear destruction. And after 1,000 years of you serving captivity, you're going to be cut off and eviscerated, man. You're going to become extinct, man. But before that, you're going to be cut off by slaughter, by thermonuclear destruction and incarcerated fire from them champions.
Verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
All this is going to come upon you for the violence against your brother Jacob, man. Going back to during the time when you got suspended out of your birthright, man. And you didn't get suspended out of your you got suspended out of your blessing, but you didn't get suspended out of the birthright. You exchanged your birthright for some food. So it was a fair exchange, no robbery. You got suspended out of your birthright, man. Yeah.
It says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob.
But I meant to say, Slack, you got suspended out of your blessing, not the birthright, man. Because you exchanged food for your birthright. But the blessing, you got supplanted out of that, which is all in the spirit. So go ahead, bro.
For thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Going back during the time when the Babylonians was taking us down, you was in the crossways helping the Babylonians, man. Saying race it even to the foundation thereof. So the Most High is going to remember all that, man. Up until the Greeks, the Romans, up until the time of the Renaissance, then the time of slavery. That's the violence against that brother Jacob, man. Shame shall cover you, and shame is covering you because you're ashamed of that history. You devils are ashamed of that history. But guess what? You're going to be revealed more and more. Buck breaking, Devil's Punch Bowl, Derby's Dose, man.
Delectable Negro.
The delectable Negro, eating Negroes, man. You got a lot to pay for, devil. You got a lot to pay for, and then you feel that we don't have the right to be angry. Forgive and forget, but yeah, guess what? You remember Pearl Harbor. Remember 9/11. Remember these things. Forget about slavery. That was in the past, bro. What are you worried about that for, man? Don't worry about that. I want you to remember the Pearl Harbor event that happened in 1944, 1945. But forget about slavery. Forget about the delectable Negro, Devil's Punch Bowl, Derby's Dose, Buck Breaking. Forget about all that, bruh. Remember 9/11, though. Remember that shit. Read.
Verse 11, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his forces.
Going back to the Babylonians, I mentioned it. You stood in the way, and you was racing. Even to the somebody get that. Psalm 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem. The day of Jerusalem when the Babylonians was taking over Jerusalem, man. For their wickedness. The Most High brought Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, against Jerusalem. And who was in the wayside helping the Babylonians take us down? Esau, our brother. Hold that real quick and bring this
Psalms 137 verse 7. It says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem.
In the day when Nebuchadnezzar and his forces was taking down Israel.
It says,
in the time of the Babylonian captivity.
It says, who said, raise it,
burn it down, burn the temple down. Who burned down the temple? It was Esau that burned down the temple. Read?
It says, even to the foundation thereof.
Even to the foundation thereof, man. Damn. That was Esau, the so-called white man. He did that, man. Read that more, read that again.
Back in Obadiah 1, verse 11, it says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side.
Now you know what that's talking about. When they stood on the other side, and they was watching the Babylonians take us down. They didn't help us. Knowing they was our brother. But they furthered their affliction by helping the Babylonians. And the Most High didn't forget that. Why did King David ask the Most High to remember the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem? Read.
It says that the strangers carried away captive his forces.
Who were the strangers? The Babylonians, man. And they helped. During the time of Zedekiah, king of Israel, and the king of Judah, we got led away captive, you know what I'm saying, into the land of Babylon, man. Read.
And foreigners entered into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou wast as one of them.
Yeah. Grace you to the foundation, though, man. The devil's got a lot to pay for, man. And that's old hatred. That's going back in the ancient world, but the tab has been building ever since then, man. Going to the time of the Greeks, when Antiochus put hell upon them, the Hellenization of the Israelites. Going to that history. During the time of the Maccabees. Or should I say the Hasmonean dynasty, which are the Maccabees. Going to that history. Going to the Romans, with the Romans put hell on us, man. Up until the time where Esau came back into rulership during the time of the Renaissance era. You know, the rape, robbery, and murder he did during the time of slavery. You got a lot to pay for, devil. Read.
It says, verse 12, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother in the day that he became a stranger, neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction, neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress.
And that's what they did, man. They spoke proudly against us. They rejoiced against our downfall. When the Babylon was taking us down, these devils was rejoicing, man. David was helping them. Those of Israel that escaped, those of Judah that escaped, they would capture them and bring them back. Either they kill them themselves or they bring them back to the Babylonian forces for them to get put to death, man. They was doing that to us, man. Rejoicing over our downfall. Because they had that perpetual hatred going back during the time of Jacob and Esau, man. Hold that real quick and bring it. You got one?
Yeah. No, I got something else. You go.
Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 1. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it. Verse 3, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
See, Mount Seir is going back to the capital of Esau. Esau was given that land, Mount Seir. So the Most High is letting, he's telling Ezekiel to prophesy against Mount Seir. He's saying, boy, I am against thee, man. For all the atrocities you have done, man. First and foremost, the spirit you have in you, go back to the spirit of Cain. Cain was a murderer and a liar, and what you are doing. You came on the spirit of Cain. You're a murderer, you're a liar, you're a deceiver, you're a slanderer, you're a murderer, you all those things, man. Read.
I'm against thee, and will stretch out my hand against thee, and will make thee most desolate.
How the Most High is going to stretch his hand out against you and make you most desolate? By thermonuclear destruction and concentrated fire from them chariots, man. That's how the Most High is going to stretch his arm against you, man, make you most desolate, man. Okay.
Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity.
Read that again, Bible Slaki.
Come. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord.
The Lord gonna lay your lands and your cities desolate, and your habitations waste, man. Then you're gonna know who's the Lord, man. Why? Because all the atrocities you have committed, not only in the land of America, but certain parts of Great Britain, certain parts of France, certain parts of Germany, wherever the Most High have it slated with, these nations are gonna be hit by nuclear missiles, man. Because Israel, because all these nations are gonna have, whoever have nuclear missiles that's gonna be shot off, America's gonna shoot missiles off back on Earth. That's why it says in Isaiah, the 24th chapter, the 19th verse on down, the earth shall reel to and fro like a drunken, man. Because all these weapons that's gonna be shot back and forth, man. Read.
Verse 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel.
You had a perpetual hatred going back to Jacob and Esau. When you was supplanted, when you traded off your birthright and they got supplanted out of your blessing, that perpetual hatred was there, man. And it's still to this very day. You trying to get your birthright back, man. But you ain't gonna get it back, devil. Yeah, what you gotta say?
Yeah, perpetual goes into the word ancient. So this is an ancient hatred that Esau has against the children of Israel.
I just said that.
Oh,
It's Jacob and Esau. I just said that. Okay, bro. Okay.
The blood of Salakia, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
During the time of the Babylonian Empire, also during the time, but that's going back to the Babylonian Empire, also going into the time of 70 AD, you know? That's basically going into the Babylonian captivity, man. Yeah, read.
Verse 6, therefore as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
Because Esau is a bloody man. What it tell you in Numbers chapter 35, verse 33? Or even 33, I'm saying the blood cannot be cleansed. Somebody get that real quick. Somebody get that. Hold that real quick. You got get that.
Get it, huh?
Numbers 35.
I got you.
I think it's 33 or 35 or 35 verse 33.
35 and 33. Numbers chapter 35, verse 33.
Or even 33 verse 35. I got it mixed up. I don't know.
It says, so ye shall not pollute the land.
There you go.
All right, this is Numbers chapter 35, verse 33. It says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
You mentioned blood shall pursue thee. Because they shed innocent blood in the land that they was. So read that again. Hold that. Read that again real quick.
There, verse 6, Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast
Oh shit, get that over. You know, got it. Get.
since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee.
Because Esau, the so-called white man, loved shedding blood, man. So being that he didn't hate blood, blood shall pursue him. And the only way that the land can be cleansed of the blood that has been shed, there's been a lot of blood shed in the land of America and throughout the world. That's why certain parts of the world gonna be hit with thermonuclear missiles, man. Now, not the whole world gonna be destroyed, but certain parts of different nations is gonna be hit. But the whole land of America is gonna be destroyed, and the whole land of Israel is gonna be destroyed, man, to cleanse this bitch. Read that real quick. Read that again.
Back in Numbers chapter 35, verse 33, it says, so ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are.
Now, how did Esau pollute the land of America? Through shedding the blood of the Native Americans, by bringing Judah, Benjamin, and Levi over here, and lynching them and cutting their body parts off and shedding blood, rape, robbery, and murder. So this land has to be cleansed by the blood that, by the shed of blood. We're going to tell you that. Yeah, read
It
it.
says, for blood it defileth the land.
For the blood defiled the land. So this land is defiled greatly with the saints of the Most High, with the blood of the saints, man. The blood of the land shall be, the blood of the land the blood has polluted the land. And read.
It says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it.
And Esau shed much blood. So the blood of him that shed it, so the blood of Esau shall be shed for all the blood that has been shed amongst the nations, man. Amongst the nation of Israel. Esau has shedded much blood in this land. Started with the Native Americans that he brought over Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and shed their blood, man. So you got a lot to pay for, devil. You got more? You got more there?
Back in Obadiah 1, verse 13, it says, thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. Yeah, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
Read that again, Baba Gashar.
Obadiah 1, verse 13. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity.
And that's going during the time of the Babylonian captivity, man, when the Babylon was taking over Judah, Benjamin and Levi, man, putting them into slavery. Esau was there helping them, man. Read.
Yea, thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity.
Because who invaded the temple? Israel. I mean, who invaded the temple of Israel? The Edomites, man. They burnt the temple. Also during the time of Antiochus, during the time of Domitian, man. They all had their hand in invading the temple, man. But let's talk about the Babylonian captivity. Read.
It says, neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossway to cut off those of his that did escape, neither shouldest thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in the day of distress.
That's talking about the Babylonian captivity. So that's going back to the ancient hatred of Jacob. You Edomites had to the sons of Israel, man. So you're going to pay for that, man. Everything you have done, see, that's because you have not paid for anything. Going back to Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11, you thinking the Most High is with you, but you're going to pay for all your calamities, man. You devil. You ain't going to escape the judgment of the Most High. We ain't escape the judgment of the Most High. We in captivity to this day, man. Pursuant to Baruch chapter 3, verse 8. We under your hands right now, man. And you refuse to let us go. Just like during the time of ancient Egypt, man. The Most High is hardening you devil's heart, man. And you're going to pay, man. You're going to pay. Read.
Verse 15. For the day of the Most High is near upon all heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
And that reward that's going to turn upon your own head is slavery, man. Read that again, Babu Kashab.
Obadiah 1 verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all heathen. As
Somebody can hold Zephaniah chapter 1 verse 14 and 15. We're going to go into the day of the Lord. Read that again.
Obadiah 1 and 15. For the day of the Most High is near upon all heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee.
As you have done, it should be done unto you, man. Everything that you have done against the sons of Israel is going to be done against you. Shalom. So you're not going to escape the judgments, man. You know?
As it says, thy reward shall return upon thine own head.
Your reward is going to return upon your own head. The reward of slavery, that cup that you passed out, that cup of slavery that the Most High gave to the sons of Israel, you're going to drink of that cup. You and the rest of the nations, man. None of y'all going to escape. So all you had your hand in the flick of the sons of Israel. But mainly you, Esau, you devil. Bro, you want to get in? Yeah.
Verse 16. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathens drink continually.
And how do you devils drink upon the holy mountain, man? By taking all the riches of Israel, by afflicting Israel. That's how you drink upon the Most High's holy mountain, man. By taking the land and keeping that land for yourself, snatching our heritage, stealing our heritage. You know? That's how you drink upon the holy mountain of the Most High, man. Read.
It says, yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been.
And you're going to drink and you're going to swallow down all the destruction that's going to come upon you. And it's telling you how it's going down, man, because Jeremiah 50 verse 9 on down, it's telling you the Most High is going to bring a similar great nations against you. You go to Jeremiah 50, the 51st chapter, Jeremiah 49, Isaiah the 34th chapter, Isaiah the 14th chapter, Isaiah the 13th chapter. Hey, man, we got a multiple scriptures to tell you the downfall you devils, man. You Edomites, you're going into slavery hardcore, man.
That's right, brother. Absolutely. Obadiah 1, what time we got, right?
Yeah. It's 6:30.
All right. We Obadiah right now.
We Obadiah right now. We Obadiah.
Yeah. I'm on about to hit verse 17.
Oh, y'all was doing the whole chapter.
The whole chapter, yeah.
Hey, but that shows you the importance of, all right, Obadiah, you know, the scriptures tell you that the Lord divided these things by lot, your portion of the Spirit. Obadiah has a small book. But look how important the prophecy that he's delivering is. So no matter what your role is, guess what? We all contributed to a lot of part of the prophecy. Go ahead, brother.
Continue on Obadiah 1 verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions.
Exactly, on Mount Zion. Stay on the camera. Stay on the camera until he gets back. Yeah, on Mount Zion, man. All right? There shall be deliverance. Well, who's Mount Zion? Well, let's start with the elect first and foremost of the nation of Israel. The elect first and foremost of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the ones that are least desired in the society and frowned upon. Guess what? Those are your future kings and rulers. That's how the Most High does it. He always brings somebody up from the dunghill. The scriptures tell you that in the book of Psalms, that promotion doesn't come from the north or west, but it comes from the Most High. The Most High has humbled his people, all right? But guess what? He's going to magnify us in the kingdom of heaven. We're going to get deliverance, man. That's what we're waiting on. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame.
Right, the house of Jacob, the house of Joseph. So we're talking about Israel, all right? Sometimes you might say house of Judah, house of Israel, all right? Because when you read the book of Amos, what the scripture says, the Lord is going to bring together back the house of David, all right? Because during the time of King Solomon, the kingdom was rent, it was split, all right? Where you had the southern kingdom consisting of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, and the northern kingdom consisting of the rest of the tribes. You see? That's how come certain tribes might have that side eye against each other. The blacks don't like the Mexicans, and so forth. They go in jails, they click up, and they see each other as different people. All right, but guess what? The Most High is going to close that breach up. In fact, you have Gadites that will click up with the so-called Asians before clicking up with Issacharite. Because why? Because Esau has lied to them and told them that's what you are. But truly, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are all one people, and that's what this truth does. That's how come we have the camp signs out. You know, we don't have it right now, but that's why, because we bring together the tribes, man.
It says, and the house of Esau for a stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau.
Exactly. Now, the scriptures don't expressly say 1,000 years, all right? It don't expressly say that, but for a period of time. What you say, brother?
No, just said double, right?
No, that's no. You know, 1,000 years is like a day with the Lord. You know, after 1,000 years, the nations are gonna get their captivity back. But concerning Esau, he's the only one that's promised no remembrance. Now the scriptures in Obadiah doesn't say expressly when we gonna burn their ass up, but we gonna burn their ass up. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be happy in that day. After all that fucking hell we putting on them, they're gonna be swan diving in that goddamn lava. However we're gonna do it, man. Because they're gonna see it like, fuck, it's over now. It's finally, I'm gonna be you know what I'm saying?
Be at peace.
Yeah. You know, and what's crazy about, not crazy, but the way we're gonna run our kingdom is gonna be completely just. So when we beating the shit out of them Edomites and the nations, they're gonna thank you, Lord. Thank you, my Lord. That is just judgment. They're gonna respect us, man. Because you know what it says in the book of Zechariah, if you're not bringing your portions to the nation of Israel, you ain't gonna get no goddamn rain, man. You ain't bringing that tribute, see? The so-called white man, he ruling tyranny and unjustly. Isaiah 10:1 tells you that. But the way we're gonna run the kingdom, going back to the Lord's statutes and commandments, it's gonna be absolute peace. So even while you're putting your foot up somebody's ass, it's still gonna be peace in the kingdom. Esau's putting his foot left and right in people's ass, and there's nothing but wickedness still going on in the morning. See? There's actually a scripture that tells you, somebody could look it up, where it tells you, look up lust in the Apocrypha, and then look up violence. Look up lust and look up violence, because the thing is, yeah, our kingdom, we're going to be ruling, and we're going to be issuing out violence, but it's going to be balanced, and it's going to be in righteousness. Go ahead, keep reading on. If you find that in Ecclesiastes,
For the Most High has spoken it. Verse 19.
the Most High has spoken it. What does it say in the book of Isaiah 14:21? So have I purpose, so shall it stand. In other words, this already happened. We're just waiting for it to play out. You know? In another dimension, brother's already in the kingdom. He saw this place is already destroyed. But we just waiting in this time for it to play out. See? Isaiah 55:11. The words of the Lord don't go out void.
Verse 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plain the Palestine, and they shall possess the fields of Ephraim and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess that of the Canaanites, even unto Zarephath, and the captivity.
So pretty much you're going into the Lord, turning that captivity. But don't, Bubba Kashar give me Deuteronomy 30 and 5. Because the scriptures tells you that. The scriptures tell you that after all these curses are done away with, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is going to turn back the captivity. All right? And all these curses that fell upon us is going to go on these heathens. Go ahead, brother.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 5. And it says, and the Lord thy power will bring thee into the land which thy fathers possessed,
The land of Israel. Go ahead.
and thou shalt possess it, and he will do thee good and multiply thee above thy fathers.
Keep going.
It says, and the Lord thy power will circumcise thine heart and the heart of thy seed to love the Lord thy power with all thy heart.
Right, so the Lord is going to circumcise our minds. It was customary to separate us from the nations. We go through the process of circumcision, but the Most High is going to circumcise our hearts, our mind. Meaning you're not going to have that evil eye towards your brother. Our women are not going to be out there committing adultery. The men of our nation is not going to go out there being a part of no LGBTQ. Our kids ain't going to be running around school like little badass niggas, man. All right, the Most High is going to circumcise our mind, put our heart fully into these scriptures. Go ahead.
It says, and with all thy soul that thou mayest live.
Go on.
It says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses.
Woo! All of them. Every single curse that we was under. Go ahead. Go
It
ahead.
says, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies.
Upon thine enemies. All right. So that same getting it from the sweat of your brow, you gonna have Edomites having side-eyeing each other like all that. That's everything that we went through. They're gonna be going through in the kingdom of heaven, man. They're gonna have to keep these laws, but guess what? They're never gonna be able to keep it perfect. They're not gonna have the bodies. And it's gonna grieve them like, damn, why can't? Now they know what we went through. See what I'm saying?
Whooping the shit out of them every chance they go off.
Of course. You know? Go ahead.
It says, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee.
Well, who hates us? Just go to Psalms 83. And who's at the top of the list? Esau. These nations hate you, man. All right? They despise you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But guess what? Israel has Stockholm Syndrome. They love their oppression. They love oppression. They always trying to fit in with everybody and shit. These nations don't fucking like you. When Esau moves to a particular neighborhood, that's him saying, I don't want to be around you. But he will say things like, nah, we want inclusivity, right? Then why the hell do you build a private estate? Why do you put up gates and all that? That's not to welcome people in. That's to keep people out. You know? Which in Israel, in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to have gated planets if we want to, man. This is just Israelite owned. Hey, we're going to have a real royal mindset back, man. Walking, clean the dust of my feet as I walk, peasant. We're going to be talking like that.
There's a gated community right next to Coney Island, Seagate. Hey, you can't really. It's gated off. They know when someone comes in.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is, bro? You can't even blame Esau for doing that shit. Because Esau be around Jake, and Jake will completely destroy their fucking neighborhoods, man. Look, Esau is a devil, we under these curses, but there's no gun to your head telling you to piss and shit in the elevator.
Yeah.
So, a lot of these niggas, you don't want to be around them. They destroy their own fucking communities.
Real quick, right on Hunts Point where I work at, they're building the bridge, right? They're building up a new section of a bridge, right? And everything they put up a wall was nice. I saw them spray paint graffiti off the wall.
Yep.
Cause Jay come by at night and they spray paint the shit. For what though?
Bro, these niggas is destructive. And I don't want to hear that bullshit about graffiti's art. If graffiti was art, it'd be on a canvas. All right, let me ask you something. You graffiti people out there and shit, and yo, it's hip hop. If I was to come in your crib and spray painted your whole shit up, would you be like, yo, that's art, man? Or would you be pissed the hell off? So These niggas are hypocrite. They destroy
Yeah,
them.
it's true. Because I got a family member who go out bombing.
Yeah,
Right?
they call it bombing and shit.
Now, look, he go out bombing. But another one of our friends, he not rap too tight. We call him schizophrenia. We call him schizo. He tagged in my cousin crib on the wall and he flipped out. I'm like, yo, that's what the fuck you be doing outside.
Yeah, that's what you're doing to somebody's business. Now they gotta get hired painters and all that. So
They
you
was,
can't.
it's like they was I said spray paint. They was power washing it with water, and it was coming off though. But it was second time. You could tell it was pissed off because Thursday when I drove by, it was clean. When I came by Sunday, it was graffitied up. Monday he was spray painting, power washing. You could tell he had a piss off look on his face. Like, God damn.
Bro, this whole you niggas thinking graffiti is art, you got fucking demons on you, man. Because art is, you see a nice painting and wow, this shit look like vandalism, bro.
It is vandalism.
That's what it is. So when Esau is in a neighborhood and what's so dumb about you niggas is this. You go into a neighborhood, you start fucking, the garbage can is there, but you're just gonna drop the goddamn food right next to the garbage can. You're spray painting shit. You're playing music at 4 a.m. on a Sunday. All that does is drive down the property value of where you live. Now, you know what that does? The property value goes down. Now guess what? That's gonna be bringing more niggas like you. Because they can afford to live there now, because you've just brought down the fucking property value. And people that are business savvy and business minded, wait a minute. My house costs $400,000. Now it's down to $300,000. Why? Because these niggas are just trying to, because they do it by zip codes.
Yep.
Let me get the fuck out of here. So that's what happens. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. Let's say for instance you live in an apartment building. Now you've been taking out the trash and you dispose of your trash properly, right? But then you got niggas that might move on your floor, and now they not putting their shit in the incinerator or properly disposing. Now let's bring in roaches and mice. Now if you didn't have roaches and mice in your crib, you're gonna have them because of these niggas not disposing of their garbage. So now they're gonna if your door is made like it's not real flat on the floor, the mice gonna go in your crib. You might not have it,
Bro,
yeah.
they started
It's
a lot.
niggas.
They started this. They try to make by Yonkers, a certain part of Yonkers, by the Hudson River, like Manhattan, right? To help them people coming down there. So they built up some luxury apartments in Yonkers. What they did was they wanted to vetting who the hell was coming in there. Sure enough, man, this luxury apartment. The lady was telling me too, because I was doing an Uber. She was like, "You coming? You seeing blunt guts, the blunt guts, the guts of the blunt and shit,
Yeah.
and fucking holes in the wall, and niggas chilling outside at 2 a.m. playing music. That type of shit just brought the whole shit down.
Yeah.
So they're goddamn read it, brother.
Because one more thing, because you got those nice places being built and they making it by law where they gotta accept certain parts Section 8. So that's why it's bringing the niggas.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about just Jakes, I'm talking about the niggas of
Yeah,
Jakes.
exactly. Because you make a good point, brother. Because you had upright Jakes, if you will, that just on the lower income set.
But they got Section 8, and they trying to do the and they living according to the law. They're not doing fucked up shit.
Right, but them one bad apple of fucking cockroaches
Yeah.
doing it for everybody. Go ahead, brother.
This is Jeremiah chapter 4, verse 22. And it says, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me."
Jake is a bunch of dumbasses, man. It is. We done broke down you destroying the property value of where you live. But you know what? Niggas embrace niggerism. Especially when them other nations come around, they be extra niggery. Like, let's blast this goddamn music now, and this is how we get down. And they think that shit is, no, all you doing is hurting where you live at.
Yeah.
You know? That shit is uncivilized. And in the kingdom of heaven, they ain't gonna be a goddamn, they're not gonna be one nigga. The scripture says, give the water no passage. We're not talking about women, but apply to what I'm saying. All right, there ain't gonna be not one fucking nigga, man. Every Jake is gonna be in their right mind. So there's not gonna be no dirty ass streets, graffitis, all right?
No dog shit on the floor.
No dog shit on the floor.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy now I'm not in the world, so police don't fuck with me no more. So when I see them, I know it sounds fucked up. I'm happy to see them because they were moving the fucking niggas off the corner.
Oh yeah, brother.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, brother.
I never thought I would say this.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Here's what's so twisted about a nigga's whole thought process, which really it deviates from logic, right? They'll say, man, the police is this, the police is that. But how many niggas you know getting gangbanged on by police? I don't know how many niggas I know that got killed by police.
Nah, no.
I know I'm mad people though that got killed by other niggas for wearing a different color. I don't like that color. I'm gonna kill you now. So, which one should you be more mindful of being around? It's like common sense, you know?
Yeah.
But do cops walk around with ski masks where you just see their eyes and a hoodie and shit? Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it says,
Hot as hell, ski mask and hoodie and a fucking coat. Go ahead.
it says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me.
They're idiots, man. Go ahead.
It says they are sottish children, and they have none understanding.
That's like I'm two-thirds of the nation of Israel. I'm just gonna,
Nip it in the bud.
that's just fuck them. You know what I'm saying? Jeremiah, you know, Jake is compassionate. Jeremiah was trying to reason with them.
Sure, might have fed up.
But after a while, he's just like, man, fuck, there's no point.
I used
Let's go away
to,
with
even
them.
though you know, like certain parts, it might be the hood, but you'll leave a part of the hood where it's a neutral zone, where it's a park where shit is
Everybody,
it's
yeah.
cool.
Right.
You know, it used to be out there. It used to be like that in Farrakh when I go to 17th Street, the beach. You know, they ain't around. Then the niggas start coming around doing niggery. I bring my little nephews to the park, and I'm like, yo, we gotta leave. Too many niggas coming to the park now.
Yo,
We gotta go.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. The same way you see a project in wherever you at, Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, they have the same setup in Scarsdale, New Rochelle, Port Chester.
I be seeing it,
It's
man.
the same exact project looking thing, but it's completely different. It's clean. The people in the community plant trees, plant all that. That's how come I'm saying, yeah, we in this curses. Yeah, Esau's a devil, but nobody's telling you to piss in the elevator. All right?
They got demons on them.
Nobody's saying let's do a cookout on a Sunday night when people got work and shit. Nobody's doing that. These niggas are really destroying their own shit, man.
Real quick.
Because wasn't those Italians, which are Israelites, the Polish, all them people, they were in them same projects as us. What the hell they did? They came, they worked hard, they never did none of that.
Yeah.
You see? But this is what Jake will do. Jake will have a victim mindset. Jake will go rob and spray up a fucking deli grocery and say, oh no, I have to do this. No, you don't. You just don't want to fucking work at McDonald's or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, brother.
What I was gonna say is, you gotta have a spirit on you. You leave your house. Before you leave your house, you can use the bathroom. If they don't use the bathroom, they go in the elevator and they take a piss in the elevator.
Yeah, that's crazy. And niggas and women is doing it too. I hate to keep talking because you can tell when a dude piss, they pee in the corner.
Right.
You piss in the corner. You're not gonna be out in the open. The females, it'd be right in the middle of the floor. You could tell. You could tell if it's a dog or whether it's a human. You know, they piss right in the middle of the floor.
Well, check this out, brother. You see that trash can right there? Put the camera on the trash can, right? Now put this camera back on me, right? Nigga, let me use your pocket. Niggas eating, trash can's right there. Drop the shit on the floor.
Yeah.
Other niggas see that shit, drop the shit on the floor. A nigga will walk right next to the trash can, drop the shit on the floor. So it's not like people aren't trying to fix these neighborhoods up. These niggas are actively destroying it. You know, over there in Soundview in the Bronx, like I mentioned, they're fixing that area. Soundview is very violent. They started to renovate it. You know, them e-bikes and shit, like all that shit was turned over. Trash everywhere. They can't, bro.
Yeah.
And they're like, niggas are just comfortable in that cockroach type. This, you know what I'm saying? It's just more, they can't stand shit in order.
And then they complain about the elevators being broke. Well, if you stop holding the elevators and stop doing your fucking drug sales in the building, hold up the elevators and skipping floors, then the shit won't constantly break down.
Yeah. Yep.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Niggas don't want to take accountability. Right.
Back in Jeremiah 4 verse 22, it says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children, they have none understanding.
Go ahead, break it down.
All right, let me read that again. It says, for my people is foolish, they have not known me, they are sottish children. So that's what it is, man. Our people, man, they foolish, they sottish, they stupid, they ignorant, all right? They have not known the ways of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. Anything that they do is contrary to the scriptures, man. A nigga like to revel in his fucking ignorance and his wickedness. You know what I'm saying? He smiles when he do that shit, man.
enjoys it, too.
And enjoy that shit, man.
Yo, these niggas will need jobs, but instead of going out for a job application, I'ma just sit outside. We outside!
Right.
Wasting your motherfucking time, man. Just, hey, that's why the Lord is gonna release them. The Lord is going to have mercy upon them with the missiles. Go ahead, brother.
It says, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil.
Now, when it comes to doing wickedness, that's when their brains start working a million equations, man.
Gears start turning.
That's when gears start turning. All right, let me do this. When it comes to being a real nigga shit, that's when they're like Einstein. It's like breaking down bombs to them. Like, damn, we could scheme this way, that way, and shit. When it comes to wickedness, but when it comes to righteousness, that's when the brain start malfunctioning and shit. Wait a minute, I can't pop his wife. What are you talking about? You know?
It says, but to do good, they have no knowledge.
Right, to do good, they have no knowledge. And not only do they not know it, they choose rather to ignore it. It's right in the scriptures. The Bible is a blueprint of life.
Yeah, like one of them young niggas one time going to ask me, there's a group of niggas, I knew they was up to no good, going to try to do an old school hustle on me. Yo, what time is it? So as soon as I look at my watch on my phone, try to duff me out and catch me and dip off. I was like, yo, man, I already knew the time was, I told him the time. I said, yo, clock behind you. He got attitude. I walked up on him and didn't give him no reaction time. I walked up on him, and it looked like he sucked his teeth like, nah, this nigga hit the game.
Yeah, that's one thing I say about being in the streets. You acquire street smarts, man. I remember a group of niggas, they were coming towards me years ago when I was at UPS. Instead of running or whatever, I had a bag. I was in the truth at the time. I just put my hoodie on my head. I stopped walking. I went in the corner. I just put my hand in the bag like I had shit in the bag. So I put my hand in the bag like I'm on that time, and sure enough, the niggas, you know what I'm saying? So you got to really be operating with wisdom out here.
So you put your hoodie on, and them say, oh, this nigga's ready.
Yo, I had them pointy ass hoodies, you know.
Yeah. You put your hoodie on and went in the corner, put your hand in the bag, like, okay, all right, niggas.
Yeah. You know, but the best advice for navigation out here, you know, just 3 words. Please, excuse me, and thank you. Try to be as polite as you can with these people out here, because you don't know what the hell is going on now. These people out here are bugged out, man.
Yeah, they're gone.
Another story. I walked past a group of people. I knew they was up to no good, youngins. I knew they was on the hunt.
Niggas is never up to good.
I didn't bump
Them
it.
niggas is, brother, them niggas is never, it's 9 o'clock, they're not up to good.
I looked at them. I didn't bump into them.
Yep.
Because soon as I went in the store, they went around the store, they just aired the block out. I'm on camera, they on camera. Police run up on me like, we know you see what's going on. I saw you talking to somebody. I'm like, yo, I don't know who shot what. I don't know what happened. I didn't see anything. I heard fireworks. I didn't see nothing. You know what I mean? Try to give me, no, I didn't see, which I didn't. I know it was still. I didn't see him do it, but I know it was still. And so the camera got me like walking out normal because I was washing something in the laundromat. I had a job interview the next day. So I don't want to keep talking, but I couldn't leave. Normally, if I was in the world, I would snatch my shit up out of there and I would have walked, but my shit was still washing and drying.
That's the beauty of having the street. You have to navigate with wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Because within this world, you got a whole bunch of agents trying to come against you. So the way you combat them, the spiritual combat is the scriptures, you know? Yep, the scriptures tell you that the prudent man foreseeth the evil and avoid it, roughly paraphrasing. So if I see a group of niggas coming down my side of the street, I'm crossing the street,
Okay.
all right? Or 10 o'clock at night, I'm not walking around with my best jewelry on. You see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna get pissy drunk by myself. I need some other brother that's maybe sober. So you gotta think about your actions in this world. You know? A lot of these stories that we see on Instagram and TikTok of these niggas dying and getting shot, they put themselves in their own situation. That dude PNB Rock. You go into fucking Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in LA with all your damn jewelry on, posting your location. Have your woman posting your location. No security. You ain't had the blick on you, all right? You ain't had shit on you. You know what you had on you? You had your jewelry, all right? You had your jewelry on you.
And your woman.
And not only that, you talking shit on Instagram to a whole bunch of gang members. Not too far when he got gunned down at, Nipsey Hussle died. And I was talking to the brothers in LA in the chat. One of the brothers in LA said, look, we got family members, brothers, we got family members in the truth that live where they at. We don't go there. That's it, man. Well, you know what these niggas like to do? They like to go back to their old neighborhood to show that they still in the streets with their jewelry on, and then get surprised when a nigga act. You're like, fool, man.
Yeah. You gotta move like the president. When you
Right.
get money, you're a target. Even if you so-called real, you're gonna be going to jail for defending yourself.
You know, too.
You get what I'm saying?
That's how come the scripture says Esau is wise as Daniel. If you know when Esau have money, they could be a multi-billionaire. They got a bummy ass Red Sox hat on, walking past you. They can buy your whole crib 10 times.
With
You
bummy
wouldn't know.
shoes on.
Bummy shoes. They don't. You wouldn't know. And when they flex and dress up, it's a different type of.
Yeah.
It's not loud. You can just look at the material like that. That's just like
Yeah.
a $10,000 suit.
Like what's the dude from with Zuckerberg? He might have a $500 T-shirt. People don't know it.
Yep.
And then what's that crib? This is a low end crib. I don't have money like that, but I'm saying you got $4 million cribs in just the Upper West Side, 2668 or 2668 Broadway. It's a building. They got penthouse, probably 10 million, $4 million cribs in there. When the people come out, you'll think they probably only making like 50, 60,000 a year. How they look?
Well, they see money far differently than Jake see money. They see money as a utility that should work for them.
Yeah.
A nigga see a money as a means to an end to look fly. That's it. The brain doesn't go past that. You know?
Well, Isaiah, this is Isaiah 1:1.
First time you got a book tonight?
The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amoz, which he saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah, Jotham, Azar, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah.
Yo, you know what? I'm gonna say something in that. Read that part again real quick.
Isaiah 1:1.
In the days of, because you gotta. Scriptures say a lot in a little bit. Go ahead.
The vision of Isaiah, the son of Amoz, which saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem in the days of Uzziah,
So he was in the days of Uzziah. Go ahead.
Jotham, Azar,
Zah,
and Hezekiah.
and Hezekiah. Isaiah saw 4 kings rule, and these men were ruling for decades, bro. So Isaiah wasn't some guy that let me prophesy for a little bit, and that's over 80, I believe 60 to 80 years. My memory kind of fragmented, but when we went through it, he was out there prophesying. Not only him, the same thing with Jeremiah and Amos. So when you read these books, don't think these guys were just, okay, I'm out for the week and bring out this. They was in the work of the Lord for their entire lives, bro. A majority of their lives. Go ahead, brother.
It says, "Hear, O heavens, and give ear, O earth, for the Most High hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me."
Children of Israel is rebellious. You know, I remember Qarab made this point years ago. Niggas, if the Most High said, don't eat chicken, niggas will never touch pork. That's just their rebellious nature. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3, "The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib."
Right, so these animals, we say they're stupid. They're not, animals aren't really that dumb, but these animals, in relation to a human, can't comprehend as much as a human. But they're very simple animals, right? But they know at the end of the day who their master is. You know? Go ahead.
"But Israel do it not know, my people do it not consider."
If you look at the nation of Israel, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they're in every goddamn religion, man. Niggas walking around with fezzes on their hat, yarmulkes on their hat, a Chinese hat. They in every goddamn thing, man. Who else is doing that shit?
You know, I was working in downtown Brooklyn, and where I work at, they got a Hare Krishna temple shrine shit. Some nigga, Jake, yo brother, and he got his whole head shaved in the back or however they do it. Yo, bro, that's not even you, bro.
Yeah, yep. How often do you see, you might rarely see another nation of Rastafarianism. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying it's some Jake religion. But Jake is in every, they play the harlot, man. They in everything, man. Seeing niggas, you watch Rush Hour, Rush Hour 1, nigga Don Cheadle coming out with the Chinese shit on. what I'm saying? They adopt everything, man.
A Chinese restaurant on Crenshaw.
Yeah, right. Niggas spoke fluent Chinese, but that's accurate. Them niggas would adopt that philosophy and then outdo the nation in it.
Verse 4. Sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity,
Yep.
a seed of evildoers.
Yeah, these niggas are breaking all types of laws, man. They love doing it. Sin upon sin. That's the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Go ahead.
Children that are corrupters, they have forsaken Yahweh, they have provoked the Holy One of Israel unto anger, they are gone away backward.
They're going away backwards. Here it is. Look, man. Brothers put up chariot videos, but it might be like a little speckled star or whatever. They saw chariots the size of buildings. Used chariots. And still went back to being niggas, man. So that's like me personally. I don't really get caught up in chariot videos. It don't really do nothing for me. Because I know at the end of the day, seeing something and faith are like, they don't necessarily have direct correlations, because these niggas seen Moses split the Red Sea and still went back to, see what I'm saying?
Same thing, man.
So the Most High done showed Israel many miracles, man. But the 2/3, they just proud to do, it's in their DNA, man. That nigga DNA, there's a DNA the Lord called nigga, and it's programmed into them to just be that way, man. You know, I'm being facetious, so don't quote me, but
Yeah, Judges chapter 10, verse 13. Yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods. Wherefore I will deliver you no more. Verse 14.
you'll serve other guys, pretty much. You know, imagine, imagine, bro, you invested in a woman, you put everything in a woman, and you come and find out that bitch was a hooker and a prostitute. You gonna lose your mind. Like, why the hell do you play that role with me? But you spread your legs to every other nigga.
I treated you good.
I treated you good. That's what the nation of Israel does when they call themselves the people of the Most High, all right, and then going to secret groves and shit and praising these other nations. Finish it up, brother.
Verse 14. Go and cry unto the gods which ye have chosen.
Yeah, so the Most High say, you know what? When the missiles are coming and flying over, then I want you to call on Krishna. Then I want you to call on Allah and Buddha, all right? See what the hell they gonna do. Call on Jesus.
Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
Yep. So that's that. The Most High is spiteful, man. So the Most High is gonna fuck with you. The same way you bow down to the nations, when all hell break loose, I want you to go on to their gods. See what that happens. Yes. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And the children of Israel said unto the Lord, we have sinned. Do thou unto us whatsoever seemeth good unto thee. Deliver us only, we pray thee this day.
Yeah. All right. So the children of Israel, 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to get their just rewards. But at the end of the day, they shall be reborn in the kingdom. So really, that the missiles is an escape for them. All right. But the 1/3, the first fruits, which we hope and pray we're part of, we shall be delivered through the fire. That's why come we out here diligently doing the work of the Lord. With that said, we're going to give all praises to Him. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh. The blessed of the apostles, death to America.
Barbara Ball.
Ball.